Hi everyone, welcome back to another Beyblade Burst Sparking or Sparking unboxing, and today I am pretty excited about what we're going to be taking a look at. So in front of me I have two of the Volume 21 random boosters, except inside we don't just have any random bay, we actually have both of the prize bays that we're going to be reviewing in this upload. So as I said, pretty excited about that. I've been keeping myself away from any real information about them, so it's going to be a nice surprise here for me and of course yourself if you have not seen them yet. Also, we're going to put that one over there and take a look at the front of our packaging, and both those bays looking really nice. All those jagged edges to it, so that is very intimidating of them. And then I've got the assortment of other bays which come as part of this volume, but we're just going to focus on these two for this video. And we'll go to the side here, and we've got an image of a small gimmick that comes as part of the sparking chip for this bay, for these bays, and it looks like it can be interchanged between both of those rings there, but we'll go into that of course a bit more once we open this thing up and get it in our hands. We'll go to the back now, and up top the explanation about that single and double chassis system, which we should be all familiar with now. So we'll go down onto the lip next, and you can see a stat there for both our main bays. And below the one on the right here, we've got a full parts listing of those other bays for this volume. And then what we're really interested in is on the left here, and our parts listing for our two prize bays. So starting off with Death DIABOLOS 1D or DDB1D, and his DIABOLOS sparking chip and the Death ring, and we do not get to see what the driver is, so a bit of an extra surprise there. So that's going to be really nice actually, that they've done that. Makes things a bit more interesting. And then below him, our other bay, Abyss DIABOLOS 1S or ADB1S, and his Abyss ring, and that sparking chip there with a different colored center, and of course a bit of different paint to it as well. So yeah, that will be pretty much it for our packaging. Nothing else I can really see to go over there. So let's do this and get these two opened up, and my focus is not quite, there we go, not quite happening there. So yep, here we go. Okay, that's everything out of our boxes, and let's put some stickers on. There isn't actually that many, just two in fact, for the ring itself. So I'll quickly cut away, get those on, and we'll be back to review our parts. So that was only a quick moment to get those stickers on. And we're going to start this off up top here with Death DIABOLOS and his ring and chip. So here it is, and sporting the same colours we got with Venom DIABOLOS. That red and gold and black there, which I really liked when that was first released. And we've also got some purple thrown in with that plastic underneath there, and that comes up around the sides in some sections as well, adding some extra contact points. Very much an attack style to the ring, the same as that Venom DIABOLOS used to have, with those like very triangular edges to it. They sweep up, and lots of jagged points. So yeah, and then the chip in the center there, which I'll just pop out. So get him here. So he's a right spinner. So to the left, and out he comes. So our chip here, and it looks like we do get a metal core there in blue. So a bit of extra weight with that, and then the design looks a lot more menacing than what it used to. Very sharp teeth and claws, the bottom of it, even the bottom of the jaw there, and this top section to his head. So yeah, definitely a lot more intimidating. As I said when I was reading out the front of the package, yeah, very intimidating looking base. And let's see how this gimmick works as well. So you just flip it over there, and you can see we've got these stopping points either side there, and it looks like we can just give it a bit of a twist, so towards the opposite direction of where it's sitting right now, and there we go. That freed up then, and clicks into those stopping points, and that is all set to go on a left rotating ring now. So that's pretty sweet, that little gimmick. And switch it back, so there we are, clicks out and in, and we'll put him back on our ring there. And let's move on to our next part, which is going to be our single chassis. 1D is our chassis for this guy, and it is a single chassis, so we don't get a lot of weight with it. Only what that small amount of metal brings. That plastic doesn't make too much of a difference to that. It's an LR stamp on it, so left and right rotating chassis, and it is a defense type, so we do get some contact points sticking out from the center there. So if they were to hit an opponent, it would provide a little bit of knockback, but the chances of that are pretty much nil because of the size of the rings that go on these guys, which just overhang the chassis. And yeah, you know, you won't really see any contact with them on a bay, and they also hug the ring so much as well. Then we've got our teeth here, so 4 teeth, and they've got a decent depth to them. We've seen these chassis before, so we know that it's halfway decent, and especially combined with those drivers, which you probably noticed were dash drivers. So yeah, definitely not going to burst this guy in a hurry. And that'll be it for that. Let's move on to our disc core, and that is the 4 disc core. So this is probably from the God series of bays, if I can remember correctly there. It's got a decent amount of weight to it, actually. So I think it's more than heavy. I think it was a little bit more than heavy. Don't quote me on that. I'm just going by memory here. And it is a stamina defense attack type. So it's just depending on its, pardon me, spin direction, it's defense or attack. So obviously rotating left, you're going to get an attack, pretty heavy attack out of it on an opponent, and spinning right, there is that defense. But just like our chassis here, really the chances of it contacting an opponent on these bays are slim to nil. Yeah, definitely an interesting choice, and I'm not all that against it. So yeah, that's it for our Discord, and now we've got a frame. For that, we've got the turn frame, a nice purple one. I think it's the same one we got with Dead Hades, color-wise. And that's when we originally saw it as well. It was released with him, and as the name suggests, it can be attached two different ways by turning it over. You'll get two different styles from it. I'll just quickly put that on to show you what I mean if you are unfamiliar. So we'll go this way first, and depending on your rotation as well is the type of action you'll get from it. So spinning right, you're going to get a defense type of contact from it, and then turning it over and being able to attach it this way, you'll gain a attack action from it. So yeah, versatile frame there, and probably suits in well with that purple color because of that bit of purple plastic we've got on the underside of our ring. And now finally we'll move to our driver. And our driver is a pretty surprising one. I did say that it would be a nice surprise to find out what these were, because it's not listed on the back of the packaging there, and this definitely was a surprise. So it's Merge, and I personally haven't seen Merge since one of the Spriggan bays. So Merge is a pretty aggressive attack type of driver, and it was rubber when it was originally released. Is this rubber? It'd have to be rubber. I can't take the rubber away from it. So that surrounding almost like angled star, I suppose, is made from rubber, which grips the stadium quite a bit. Gives you a real aggressive attack, but also saps your stamina rather quickly. It can wear down to this plastic center that it's got to it. So you can see that doesn't actually make it past the edge there. So you do have to wear it down, and eventually you'll get a bit of stamina out of it when it runs on the very tip. But until then, yeah, you want to get the job over and done with pretty quickly with this driver. But saying that, if you're carrying a fair amount of weight, then it does last that much longer. And that's it for all of our parts. I'm going to join them together real quick so we can have a listen to those clicks and just hear how strong they will be with this dash. So here we go, and we'll get that chassis on, satisfying click, and then want that frame on, and I'm going to put it in defense mode, and there goes our Discord frame, and here we are with the driver, and oh, nice heavy clicks there. So as I predicted, you are not going to be bursting this guy in a hurry unless it is with some pretty extreme contact. So yeah, and geez, it actually looks really nice, like that red chassis there and the purple frame, as well as the black and red driver, tie in so well with the coloring they've given us with that ring there. And then finally our chip and that blue center. So very nice looking bay. Okay, well that is Dead Diabolos all done with. We'll move on to Abyss. Of course, starting with our ring and chip from Abyss, and once again sporting the same colors as a previous version of this bay. So we've got a Race Devilos's colors here with that red, gold and white, and our chip actually has some different coloring as well. So silver for that top bit of the head on that design there, and same with the chip in the center. We've got that purple plastic once again that comes up and brings us some extra contact points, and kind of the opposite, sloping to the main contact points of the ring there, so they actually point downwards rather than those huge sweeping up slopes that we saw with Death Diabolos. So and that's different from the previous version of this, the Erase Devilos as well. It had a pretty large sweeping up section, so yeah, it should be an interesting change. And then we'll just quickly check out that chip. So it is a less spinner, so to the right, and metal core to it. So of course we would get that with this one as well. Why would they take that away? And it does have that same gimmick. So unlock it there and twist against those stopping points, and it clicks in, and there we go. We can use this one on both rotating type of rings as well. And I'll click him out, put him back, and get that reattached there. So yeah, that's it for our chip and ring. Moving on to our chassis. For that, we get 1S, a stamina style of chassis, and for that reason, it weighs a bit more than the other single chassis, and you can see that with the amount of metal that it's got. A very circular shape to it, nice and symmetrical, well bounced, and we've got the LR print there, so it can go on left and right, spinning chassis over to our teeth. So the teeth are the same as what we got on the Dead Diabolos chassis, and that deep purple I really do like. That's going to tie in really well with the purple we've got on the ring of Abyss Diabolos, as well as if we put it on our Dead Diabolos ring. And that's it for the chassis. Let's move on to our forged disc, which we've got 5 as the chosen disc core for Abyss, and I think that's pretty interesting because it's pretty much the opposite of 4 in its design. So rotating right, you're going to get an attack contact out of it. Rotating left, you'll get a defense contact, and weight wise they're almost identical. I think 4 is a little bit heavier, and it doesn't look symmetrical, but it actually is. So it's well balanced, and yeah, we don't actually get a frame here with Abyss. So that'll be it for our disc, and we're moving on to our final part, the driver. And of course we get another dash driver, a nice new one. So this is Fusion Dash, and so called that because it is a fusion of attack and stamina. So it has a nice smooth plastic tip here. It only has a little point there on the very center of it, so it can run for a small amount of time on that, so giving us a nice smooth start off. But because the tip is pretty flat, we're going to contact the surface with that rather quickly and get some movement from it. That said, that movement isn't going to sap too much of our momentum because of just how small the entire tip is. So yeah, going to be interesting to see how this performs, and because we've got a good amount of weight, it's going to carry momentum. This bay is going to carry momentum for a lot longer. So probably a decent choice for a driver. And let's piece this thing together, have another listen to how strong those clicks are, and then we'll think about getting our stadium out for a test launch. And here we go. So here comes our chassis, and once again, satisfying noise, and our disc core, and move it all the way to the right because it is a left rotating ring. And oh wow, there we go. Geez, actually feels harder to move past those teeth than what it did with Death DIABOLOS. So wow, really strong clicks there, and once again going to be or take a good amount of effort to burst this guy. And how often do these sparking bays burst? Not very often, and with those clicks, just about never. So let's get out our stadium and test launch these bays. And first up in our stadium is Dead DIABOLOS. And 3, 2, 1, go shoot. So there we go. Aggressive movement there, as expected from that merge driver. And because these are quite a bit heavier than the Spriggan that it originally came out on, that merge driver, it is going to have a bit more run time, but we are slowing down pretty quickly here, and just about out of steam. Looks really nice spinning though, and there we are. Small amount of life after death as we run along that frame in defense mode. And next up is our Abyss DIABOLOS, and whoop, he should run for a good time more. So there we are, right on that tip, and wow, it's spinning nicely there. So I expected a small amount of movement from it, but it is sitting pretty, and everything blurring together, all those colors blurring together there, looking very smooth in its spinning rotation there. And well, that is going to be it for this unboxing. We won't go for any further time here, so I'm not going to do a test battle. It's definitely going to be running long enough with unboxing both of these as it is. So I hope you liked the video, and until next time, enjoy the rest of your day.